today we have our moderator. My moderator today is Jessica. Jessica was an assistant to me back in the day when she was in college. But she's not in college anymore, and she's helping me out today. And we're going to do this, our second part to being an assistant. And when you think about assistants, first of all, you think about somebody who's a helpmate. Jessica, when you think about assistants, what you think about when you think about being an assistant?
There's two different types.
Okay, tell us what do you feel is two different types of assistant?
Okay, the one that does nothing for you and help you doesn't help you at all, and the one that's your right hand man.
Now that's a good point. She said there's two types of assistants. Very good observation. I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to have to say it because I don't want to be coming off like, oh, you're the doctor and you just looking down everybody. But you're saying it, so it comes off better.
Yeah.
This is a recent college graduate. She's done work. She's been people assistants. And she said there's two types of assistants. There's the one that does nothing for you, and then there's your right-hand man. And there's no two ways about it. So first and foremost, information is power. And that's why I wanted to come here today. And I'm very excited about this because I know that assistants are very important. I've had many assistants. As I stated in part one, my first assistant is one that trained me. So it's very important to know one thing. And one thing you need to know when you say information is power. I got a quote today on my LinkedIn, and I'm going to share it with you. It says, whatever you do or whatever you decide to do, make sure it makes you happy. Now, I know there's hard times, and we're in situations where we just want a job, right? We just want to get a job. We don't care what it is. But there's some jobs that are a true profession. And there's a reason why some teaching assistants are called paraprofessionals, because you are a professional. I don't care if you're an administrative assistant, you're still a professional. There's a way of acting, there's a way of helping each other. And the first thing you want to do is basically make sure this is what you want to do. If you want to do this, you're going to do your best. You want to do your best. So that's the first thing. Now, you think we think of bad bosses or whatever, or mean bosses, or the woman, or the what's the thing, that movie about Wear Prada? The devil wore Prada. The devil wore Prada. You think about those kind of assistants, and now those are real life assistants. And they put up with all kinds of foolishness, but they want to learn, they want to grow. Now, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about people who are well adjusted and just really want to do their job as an educator and work side by side with someone. And like Jessica said, if you're not a good assistant, it can be terrible relationship. Who wants to go to work every day? Not me. Who wants to go to work every day and hardly speak, or well, could you please do this for me? I guess so. I mean, it's just, you just don't want to live that way. And after this pandemic, it's time that you really decide what you really want to do. So I'm going to talk about how to be a very good assistant. And the first thing a very good assistant does is get to work on time. Get to work on time. If your manager, your boss, your teacher, your media specialist, your principal, if for the most part, unless it's just set up that way, and in classrooms and most of the time in the media center, it's not set up that if you have an assistant, you want your assistant to be coming in after the kids done been there 30 minutes. That's just not. Now, we all have troubles, but you want to try to be on time. And that's the first thing, be on time. And if you're on time, people really appreciate that and they see the best for you. I want to talk about how maybe assistants feel like it's them and us, right? You know how they say, well, that's the teachers or that's the bosses, and here's the assistants or the secretaries or administrative assistants. As administrators and managers, we feel I don't know, intimidated, or we have kind of low expectations sometimes on if we can really make it with another person as your assistant. So never go in there feeling like, oh, they're going to be mean to me, because as an educator, we talk all the time about, hey, do you like your teacher? Hey, how is your assistant? And it's like, oh my God, it could be really bad and volatile. So you want to make yourself, what's the word? I mean, when you're not, when Jessica, if you don't come to work, you're such a good assistant that if you don't come to work, your teacher or your library and media specialist, they're going to what? Are they going to be glad you're not there, or are they going to be missing you?
They're gonna be missing me.
They're going to be missing you. Now, when I've had assistants, I'm not calling any names. When I got the word they weren't coming today, I said, "Oh, thank God, there is a doctor. They're not coming today." Because the one thing, you don't want to do nothing, and then it makes it so it's like, well, why are you here? So the first thing you need to do is try to keep your communication skills open with whoever you're working with. And remember, there are good assistants, but then you don't want to be a good assistant. You want to be a great assistant. And a great assistant, I guarantee you, assistants, they have the power, are they not? Because I mean, if you're doing a report one day and you need your paperwork done, or you need your PowerPoint going, or you need this going, you can't do it all. But with a good assistant, it's like clockwork. It's like a well-oiled machine.
Mm-hmm.
They should know what you want and expect. And you know, if you know your teacher likes coffee and you like it they like it black, don't look at it like, well, I'm not doing that for her. I'm not her slave. I mean, it's a give and take. It's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you would like me to get your coffee? No, you don't want to. If you feel uncomfortable doing this, you don't have to, but you could ask, right? Nothing wrong with asking. It's nothing wrong with getting your manager or your boss, especially if they want you to get their mail and sit it on their desk. That's why it's so important as an assistant to try to be there first. You want to be there first, or if they will come in together. Now, I've had assistants. I come in early to work. When I always like to come in early because I like to decompress and get myself together. And that's another reason, as an assistant, you want to come in early. You want to come in early so that you all can chat, decide what we're going to do for today, how we're going to do things. Isn't that right, Jessica?
Yeah, you
Because you don't want to come in. What do you say?
You can run things down together.
You don't. You want to be able to say, okay, well, okay, before the onslaught, you know what I mean? Before
Yeah.
everybody come in on you, you want to be able to say, oh, let me get myself together. Okay, what's on the agenda today? What are we doing today? Oh, and another thing, when you are an assistant, you have to shoot from the hips. Shoot from the hips. You might say, what is that? You have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. Nothing irks me more than an assistant when we planned on doing something. First of all, you came in late. By the time you got there, I already got the principal or assistant principal and told me the whole schedule has been changed. We thought we were going to have 2 classes a day. We got to have 5 because we don't have substitutes. And this is big enough. Put them in here and y'all watch a movie. Okay, well, I've gotten that change of schedule. You come in, you already and you late. The kids in here. Well, what's going on? And then you, as an assistant, you cop an attitude because now we got all these kids in here and you upset because you didn't think we were going to do this today. That's strain. That's strain. You want to take as much strain off of your manager or your administrator as possible because it's a partnership. Because I guarantee if you give 100, they will also give 100. The Delaware Prada and all those other kind of little those mean and wicked managers. Yes, they are there, but they are very far and very far and few between because you're gonna go to HR. Your dad crazy with you, so I don't believe you're gonna have much of that to have happen to you. So it's very important to try to understand your position. And there's nothing wrong with being an assistant. I mean, I believe the assistants are the foundation, don't you? What do you think, Jessica? I believe that without assistants, you can't get a lot done.
Yeah, you really can. They determine the whole background drop for the boss.
I mean, they pretty much do. I mean, they really help you. If with a good, it's just that your expectations, what you want from yourself should be high.
Yeah,
You should want to work on a higher level, no matter what you do, right?
yeah,
You've got to do that. So that's why I feel it's very helpful that you know what your expectations are. Read your job description. Your job description and those jobs on that list. I have a. What about this, Jessica? Okay, we got job description, and this job description. When you, it's most of the time it's very generic, right?
yeah.
They're just like, um, these are different jobs that you may do or you may not do. You
Mhm.
don't want to go into a job and say, well, this is my job description. I can't do it if it ain't on this list.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. And
Your job was
you
like that.
you can't do that. And
Yeah,
you can't say, well, can I just pick what I want off the list?
I can't. I never do that.
You just can't. For instance, library media assistants. There's elementary assistants, middle school assistants, high school assistants, right? When they make that job description of different topics and different jobs that or that you should do as an assistant, they're just giving you the broad stroke. Some of those things on there you're not going to do. If you're in an elementary school, you're not going to be doing, oh, let's say, a report, a senior report. Help with the seniors on their report, their senior papers. Well, if we're elementary, that don't apply to you, and there's other things that just wouldn't apply to you that high school would do that elementary wouldn't do. So you can't say, well, let me just pick what I want to do off of here. If you're picking the jobs that you want to do, how do you think I feel? Do I need you?
No.
Because I'm doing story time. Well, I want to make electronic bulletin board. I don't need electronic bulletin board. I don't want an electronic bulletin board. I'm in elementary and I want a regular bulletin board so the kids, when they walk in the hall, they can look at it and say, oh, look, there is the Grinch or whatever. There is a, can't talk about the Grinch right now. Let me stop talking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that's who was the Wild Things or that's I have so many books that I love, like The Bad Case of the Stripes. They would like to see something like that. So you can't come in and pick what you want. You want to be able to help. And if you don't know how to do a certain job, just say you don't. Nothing is worse than if someone says, I need you to make this spreadsheet for me. You take it. I said, is that okay? You got it? Yeah, I got it. And as soon as I walk off, you call somebody on how to do it. You could have just asked me. You have to learn how to communicate, especially being an assistant. If you don't know how to do something, you learn. If you, for instance, most assistants, there are other assistants out there, and there are also forums and email chat boards that you can always put a question out if you don't know how to do something. And as an assistant, that would be your best resource if you really don't know how to do something and you just don't want to ask the boss. But I'm dollars to donuts. If you just tell someone, your manager, whatever, I just don't know how to do this, it is a learning process. Do you think when I jumped out after I got my master's degree in library science and I went to my first school, I knew how to do everything? Just because I had a degree?
No.
Oh, you got a master's degree in library science with emphasis in children's services, so here you go. I still was like, well, how do I do this? When we had followed, what'd you say?
You were an assistant?
When like Miss Young, I had an assistant, Miss Young, right? Miss
Yeah.
Young, when I first came out of school, way back in the day, I had a master's degree, and she was already there. And she was an older lady, and she helped me. And I remember when I got the job in graduate school, they taught us different databases, Mandarin, Follett, different ones. And when you learn and you just going through the motions, you're trying to pick up a little of everything. So when I got there and it was falling, I said, "Oh, I know this." And that's about all I knew. I know this. I remember this in school. So she had to help me. So everybody needs help. So I mean, my assistant has shown this is how you check out a book. This is how you click here to check in the book. And I was the media specialist because I just didn't know all of it. I knew of these programs. So it's nothing wrong as an assistant to say, well, I don't really know how to do that. Then they would take time out with you. You could even ask, would you just please take time out with me? Because I really want to do a really good job and show me how to do this. And it's so important to realize that sometimes you need to reach out and get suggestions or help from your manager or, your administrator. Always do that. Like I said, first of all, come to work on time, understand your position, realize that there's more to your job than what's on the suggested list from human resources, or realize that everything on that list does not apply to where you are. And then understand that you're a help. You're a team. Really, I look at it as a team because yes, you help, but basically, if you're a good assistant, I can't do it without you. And that's what you want to be, just needed all the way around as a professional. So it's very important to do that. Now we're going to go on to, we already talked about, you just don't want to just whining about, well, I don't have this, or I don't have that. As an assistant, just, you're here to say whatever you need me to do. If you don't have what you need, you let your manager know, but you don't want to go whining out to other assistants or whining to the teachers. I don't have this, or I don't have that. All that's going to is destroy the communication, the bridge of communication. So that's something you want to really keep in mind. And now I want to talk about fun. I want to wrap this up a little bit because I don't want to stay too long. Because I know it's been a long day. And I thank Jessica so much for coming on. Do you have anything you want to say to add to any of this? That as being an assistant, which you would,
I just want to reiterate what you said about being like necessary and helpful and doing more than what your job description tells you to do.
And that's the truth. You have to do more than what your job description. We all do. If you're going to be great at it.
Yeah.
And indispensable. You want to be so needed that when you're not around, like, oh my God, Jessica's not here today. Oh my God. You want to be that way. You want to be so needed. Because first of all, like we said at the beginning, understand, do something that you like. Do something that you love.
Yeah.
So don't be an assistant just because, well, it's something to do, or it's easy to get a job, or you feel like, oh, well, this is something I could just in between. Because you can really make a mess of a program or a situation, or you can really grow a program. It's really important. So what I truly believe is that when you're training assistants and hiring assistants, sometime, I'm gonna just say it, sometime an assistant could be too educated. Because I truly believe I'm too educated. And I just don't think, no matter how much they sit in the interview and they sit there and talk to you, and yes, I'm just so eager to help, and I guarantee you really got to do a background check. If someone's coming and interviewing for an assistant position and they telling you, I've done grants and I know so and so, and I worked at the federal building, and I've done right there. No. That's not an assistant mindset. You're not there to help me. You're here to tell me how great you are. And once you hire them because they wowing you as a human resource person or as a coordinator who's interviewing, oh my gosh, she's got this experience, and she's done an internship at Amazon, and she's worked here. Now, when they go and they're applying for a job to be a teacher's assistant, what you think gonna happen in that situation?
That's true.
What you think it's going to be like? Do you know who I am? And I've had people. This is the same. You don't know who I am. Well, I don't know, but maybe you should go where they know you. because I just need this. I am just a little librarian here. I'm not CEO. I'm not. This is not a Fortune 500 business. We're a school, and if you hiring people who are just too educated, you're setting yourself up. Or
Yeah.
if you hiring people who are so busy telling you what they've accomplished. I've had, you're my assistant and you say you introduced yourself to me and you going on telling me about how you work for Fortune 500, I'm gonna say, well, maybe this ain't what you need to be doing, because we're gonna bump heads. Because I guarantee you, if you get too much education, and because face it, you got to be humble. Even as a manager, I'm when I'm a librarian, a school librarian, I feel like more middle management. I'm supervising these people, but then there's the principal above me.
Oh.
But I'm supposed to supervise you as my assistant.
Yeah.
So I don't need you telling me about, oh no, when I was at Exxon and I was at Google, well then this is not Google. And there's a time that when you first become an assistant, that first year should be nothing but be quiet and say, what can I do to help you? That's it. Well, I want to do this, and no, I have a plan. Before you got here, I had a plan. So what you need to do at the beginning of that first year is just sit and chill and listen and learn and get all you can get. And as you reach and gain that relationship, it's all about relationships. Like I said before, I do not want to work with somebody we're not speaking. I do not want to work with somebody. Every time I tell them, ask them to do something, they telling me, well, you're the boss. Because I want to say, well, I know that. I know that. You ain't got to do, well, you're the boss. Well, yeah, I know that. Do you know it? That's the question. So you don't, I hate to be in those kind of situations. I don't want to be in that kind of situation. So that's why I feel it's important that when you're hiring people, it might take a little longer, but certain people you got to say no to. You just can't. You just can't say, you can't look at that long resume of all this they've done, especially if they just shooting at you what they can make happen for you. I don't need you to make it happen for me. I know what I want to happen. I need a partner. And that's how an assistant should be looked upon, as a partner. And I'm talking to the managers now and principals. That's your partner. I always tell my assistants, we're in this together, you and me. This media center, this is me and you. Me and you. We look out for each other. And if you have that sense of relationship, everything go smoothly. But you're not going to get that if initially they hire the wrong person. If you hire the wrong person, you're not going to get that kind of relationship. It's not going to happen. You can move them from here to another one to there to there. It's not going to happen. So it's very important when you're hiring to also look and make sure this person really fits this job. And once you hire your assistants and you give them that generic or that basic foundational, orientation or professional development, you need to go further. And you need to bring somebody in to give them a more in-depth on how to act as an assistant, how to be a great assistant. You need someone to come and train them, i.e. me. You need me. That's basically what it is. If you want to transition from hiring an assistant, training them fundamentally on how the organization works and what's their expectations, then they need to come to me, because that's when we're going to have those hard, heart-to-heart talks, straight no chaser. Hey, this is what's expected of you. If you don't like it, you're going to have some friction. This is what it is. This is your job. Yeah, you might have, oh, my teacher's so egotistical. What do you care? You don't have to brush your teeth with them in the morning. As long as they're respectful, it shouldn't matter. So I think I go right back to it. Is this what you want to do as a person? Do you want to be an assistant? So I'm not going to hold up Jessica anymore. Thank you so much, Jessica, for moderating and then being part of this today.
Of course.
And I'm going to post this on my YouTube. Oh, yes. Please, if you see us on my YouTube channel, please give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it because that helps the algorithm. Thank you. Please give me a thumbs up if you watch this and like it. And if you need any information, as always, you can always contact me at ultradidactic.com. That's ultradidactic.com. If you need any information on any training on staff training, uh, that staff training goes for assistants and teachers. We do it all at Ultra Didactic. And once again, I really appreciate you coming. We're going to be back here next Wednesday, right, Jessica? Next
Right.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
And we're going to be talking more about what's our next subject. Our next subject is going to talk about, guess what? Kids are coming back into school.
Oh.
What you think? How you think they're going to be acting?
They're gonna be like they haven't been to school before
Yeah, well,
in weeks.
in school, but have they been in the building? No.
Oh.
So you looking for some people, for some kids acting like,
Been around like,
yeah, they're gonna act like, whoa. So our next Wednesday, we'll be talking about the student behavior after the pandemic, what to expect and how to handle it.
that's one point.
So I'll see you, Jessica. You will be with us next Wednesday. And I hope you all out there will join us. Please join us. Yours truly, Dr. Nicola and Jessica. Good night.
Good night.